bullying,
the Me Too movement against sexual
toxic
harassment,
masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get?
Gillette's recent Believe campaign caused a social media storm, referencing toxic masculinity and featuring images of bullying, sexist behaviour and male aggression. The brand replaced its long-standing tagline, "The best a man can get," with "The best men can be."
I think what Gillette are doing is really interesting. They have a legitimate reason to talk about the role of men and the role of men in society. We know that brands with purpose actually perform better financially than brands that don't have purpose. That's from our Brand Z data. So it's perfectly valid for them to start this debate.
According to research by Kantar Media, the week after the film was released, the social media response was initially mainly negative, but a week later it had swung to mainly positive comments. Overall, 46% of reaction was positive, 51% negative, but 57% of male respondents disliked the ad, the brand's target customer. So why are we seeing more issue-charged brand campaigns?
Brands are starting to push the envelope more. It's a calculated risk that they need to take. By taking a stand, they will, whether they like it or not, they will start to alienate some of their audiences. And they need to work out whether those audiences are ones that they really want to attract, or whether in fact by taking a risk they're going to attract new audiences that they haven't done before. So it has to be very carefully understood by brand what the impact of this communication is going to be. Ideally they'd do some research on it first and find out what people really think.
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.
Gillette isn't the only brand recently that's touched on socio-political issues.
Nike and their campaign featuring Colin Kaepernick, which actually was a fairly political point that they were making about the role of sports people in society and taking a political stance. Their sales did increase. The social media sentiment was actually quite mixed and quite polarising, but actually overall we think it did very well for Nike as a brand.
Gillette also referenced #MeToo, which has caused the marketing industry to look at how brands show gender in advertising.
For years, you could argue that women have been told in advertising that they don't live up to expectations. You know, they're too fat, the house isn't clean enough, whatever. And I think for the first time we're starting to see that debate is starting to be raised for men. Men need to have certain kinds of behaviour and maybe they're not living up to it. But it's really good for them to have started the debate.
So why are we seeing these more provocative campaigns?
I think what we're starting to see is brands recognising that they have some kind of role to play in society, and in particular how they portray people of different genders, how their products stand or their services stand for something, or whether they even want to make a political stance. And brands are doing this in various different ways. They're piling in and doing it as a core part of their advertising communications campaign, or they're starting to address it in PR. But we're seeing a really interesting start to a debate, I think.
The Unstereotyped Alliance and the use of GEM scores have all aimed to make advertising more gender balanced. So how bad is the problem?
I think the first thing we'd say is that advertising which is showing women is still somewhat stereotypical. We see women in sort of likeable and caring roles, but not necessarily in authoritative roles. And this is something that marketers actually might be doing unconsciously, you know, without really thinking about it. Our argument is that actually marketers need to start taking account of this and actually considering the role that they're putting women in advertising. This can go right back to the agency that they're working with and the targeting by the media agency as well.
The survey suggests marketers are wide of the mark when it comes to their performance. 91% say they are doing a good job of portraying women in ads. 45% of consumers say marketers are doing badly. It's a pattern that isn't uniform across sectors.
Sectors that still seem to be struggling a little bit, for example, in the area of cleaning products, which are primarily targeted at women. We know that ads that are targeted at both genders tend to perform better, and there's no reason why cleaning products need to be targeted almost exclusively for women. The other sector that still seems to be struggling is the automotive sector, but we can see some progress. An ad that Nissan did in Saudi Arabia when women were granted the right to drive for the first time, which is a very, very significant thing to happen there. and they showed an ad which was showing male members of the family showing women how to drive, and the women being really happy and effectively liberated for the first time in terms of their driving. It's a very, very powerful piece of communication, partly because they actually added an unexpected twist, which was that the women didn't know that members of their family were going to be supporting them.
Sectors that are getting the tone right include the alcoholic drink sectors and sportswear. The survey also showed that men were 39% more likely to feature more authoritatively than women when both sexes appeared in an ad, and ads featuring women contained less humour. So what do brands need to do to redress the balance?
First of all, understand where you legitimately have a voice and what debates you can legitimately enter into. Secondly, understand your audience, and by that I mean not just the audience you're targeting today, but the broader audience you want to reach and your audiences of the future. And I think the third thing is get the execution right. They need to make it sure that it's more than just skin deep. It has to go beyond the advertising and actually be part of their service, part of their product, and actually part of their ethos of the company, not just a surface treatment which consumers will very easily see through.
Hi, I'm James Wright and thanks for watching Marketing Media Money. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thanks for watching.